Welcome back to Tipping Point. I'm your host, Kara McKinney. The propaganda is coming in thick and heavy before November. Just Google keywords like economy or finances and then check what the news feed prepared by the tech giant has to say about each. You'll get whoppers like this one published by The Guardian today, which despairs at how a majority of Americans, wrongly they say, believe that the country's in a recession, and even worse, they blame Biden for it. Can you believe the gall of this British daily newspaper lecturing Americans on how we should be feeling under Biden's shrinkflation, where everything is going up in price except for wages? Just because the GDP can be artificially inflated by the stock market and by all the funny money DC keeps printing out to fund all their multi-trillion-dollar spending sprees doesn't mean that that translates into economic relief for families. How about this? If your fancy exclusive Harris poll finds that 55% of Americans believe that the economy is shrinking and that 54% believe that the U.S. is experiencing a recession and they all blame Biden for it, well, maybe, just maybe, you should listen to them and think, hey, maybe we're the ones insulated from what they're feeling. Maybe we should try to understand why they feel this way. Maybe they're actually right. But of course, they at The Guardian don't, because their political priorities come first. And if that means mocking Americans struggling to get by despite working their rear ends off, then so be it. Plus, how dare they try and gaslight us about a recession anyway? During the first 2 quarters of 2022, America did in fact experience 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth, which has always been an unofficial marker of a recession. Until, of course, Biden came to power. Next thing you know, they were all playing semantics with the unofficial aspect of a commonly understood rule of thumb to trick people out of understanding the severity of the economic situation they found themselves in. So I guess what I'm telling The Guardian is that even if we were currently still in a recession, they would lie to us about it point blank too, as they're doing right now by claiming that the economy is great, so they don't understand why Americans are so mad. The Atlantic has its own 2 cents to add with this headline from 2 days ago: the worst, best economy ever. Why Biden is getting no credit for the boom. Boom? What boom? The only boom I hear is from the implosion of the economy, especially as we head the way of South Africa, where we have far too many takers from government and not enough contributors, meaning if you're a regular working person, that squeeze is only going to get tighter and tighter on you, with fewer benefits that you can accrue from it. While every Tom, Dick, and Harry who just crossed the border yesterday will be getting far more benefits than you could ever imagine off the sweat of your back. Bootstraps for Americans, welfare checks for everyone else. And when those welfare checks come in the form of foreign aid or money for defense contractors, you'll be told that the corresponding spike in the GDP is bulletproof solid evidence that the economy is doing great. So quit your complaining and keep skipping those meals just so you can make your bills. And that's not doomed to fail at all. So if The Guardian won't listen to the Americans who respond to their own Harris poll, well, they listen to the chief U.S. economist for Citigroup, who's predicting a hard landing for the economy this year with a full-fledged recession to follow. Well, hey, recession, there's that word again. Joining us now to discuss all this and more is self-made businessman Joe Penland, the founder of Joe from Texas, a grassroots organization dedicated to working with politicians in order to promote fiscally responsible policy solutions. Joe, thanks for being back tonight.
Thank you, Kara, for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Great. So if outlets like The Guardian were interested in the truth, which they're not, but if they were, do you think they should investigate why there's such a disparity about what they're telling us about the economy and how Americans are actually feeling about it?
Yeah, they must be talking to some Americans that I don't know, because everybody that I talk to when we're going across America are feeling the pain. It's obvious whenever we went 224 years and our debt reached 5.7 trillion. Now you think about that, and in Biden's first 3 years, he duplicated the 5.7 trillion. Everybody's going to say that's COVID related. A little bit of it was. We have to give him that. But now he's over 6 trillion. So, you know, when you go 224 years with the Civil War, both World Wars, the Depression, Vietnam, Korea, and you come out with 5.7 trillion, and he gets to double that in the first 3 years, and they call that good, I'd call it something else.
I would as well. And do you think it's a really bad messaging scheme from Democrats right now and their buddies in the media to, instead of just admitting the truth, saying, yeah, the economy sucks right now, instead they're going to keep telling us, no, the economy's doing great. Why is everyone so mad about it? You should be praising Biden. Do they not realize that's going to turn a lot of people off for November?